I would never work with someone or a brand that I didn't know. So FTX, they offered 60 grand per month. 60
What?
grand. Yeah. And
for what? What do you have to do for them?
For like one video shout out per week. So
No.
4 videos, 60 grand.
No.
And like a little shout out. And I realized I want to only want to keep on doing things I enjoy doing. And if it makes money, great. If not, then it's fine. Like I already made enough. Like technically I don't need more.
So
hey Tom,
this is your first ever guest appearance on a podcast. So
Yes.
thank you for doing that. It's my honor to pop your podcast cherry, even though you have your own podcast, but you were
Right.
saying how being a guest is a little bit more nerve-wracking.
I think it is, yeah.
fair
You
enough.
have less control. The host has all the control.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I do have all the control.
Yes.
So you will do what I say.
Do go easy
You will
on
answer.
me.
You will answer the questions that I ask.
I shall.
All right.
But thank you for having me, Tom.
Of course. So you're known as a humble trader. First, I want to know, how did you come up with that name?
Yeah, so humbled trader means I got really humbled by the market a long time ago when I first started trading. And yeah, you know, a lot of people when they enter into the market, you think you can make it quick. You think when you have a couple of good trades, you think, oh, yeah, I made a couple $100. Like I'm the shit. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
swear. That's fine.
Yeah. So and a lot of times you become really cocky. And then I got really humbled one time, this is a few years ago, when I held a stock that was supposed to be a day trade into a swing trade and eventually lost like half of my trading account.
Wow.
So after that, I became a little bit more humbled and humble. Yeah, about trading overall.
I feel like trading is such an emotional game.
Yeah.
And
it is.
I've done some trading before. Obviously not anywhere near the level that you guys are doing. But I remember like this is like 2015. So I have a friend of mine who plays like weekly options.
Okay.
And he's like, yo, I made so much money doing like a Shopify call weeklies. And I was like, I have no idea what that is. I had some money in my TFSA and he's like, Tom, I'll teach you. So I threw in like a few $100.
Okay.
And I remember that few $100 turned into like a couple $1,000s.
Oh, nice.
And then I was like, yo, this is easy. Like what the hell? Like
Yeah.
this is all you do? He's like, yeah, man. So, and then I remember like getting up at 6:30 one morning. And at that time I was working at Yellow Pages.
Okay.
And I bought some weekly options. This is on a Thursday, expires on Friday.
Oh my God.
And then I remember driving to work. By the time I got to work, before I left for work, I was up 300%.
Okay.
By the time I was at work, I was down like something crazy.
Oh.
And every single refresh that like I would be at work refreshing it, and it would just like go up, go down, go up, go down. Not in like by a few dollars, but like by tens or hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So how do you, obviously you got humbled.
Yeah.
And so how do you deal with the emotional aspect of trading?
I think it gotten a little bit easier over the years. At the start, everything, like you said, every tick, every cent, it's a lot of emotions. But I think over the years, you kind of get used to the highs and the lows. And by the way, the highs are never going to be as good, as a great of a magnitude as the lows in trading. So you kind of get used to it. Nowadays, let's say if I take a loss, I don't get too emotional because I remember in the past, I've lost that money before and regained from it and recovered. So yeah, it's all about, I think a lot of times in trading and investing even, it's all about experience. Understand that, in the past, yes, I have lost this amount of money, but then I learned my lesson and I walked away, with better discipline, better strategies. And hopefully next time you don't make the same mistake again.
What's the most you lost in one day?
Oh man. 2021 on Millionaire stock.
Yeah.
I think I lost like 75 grand in one day.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It definitely felt really bad. Cause $75,000 American, that's like at the time with the exchange rate, that's like almost 90 grand Canadian. That's how much I used to make at work at my 9 to 7 job in 1 year. That's my salary. So to lose that in one day, I didn't like really
Did it hit you? Like when you when the market closed, like you knew, obviously you saw you were down 75,000. But like when did it really kick in for you? Or were you like pretty numb? You were like,
I was pretty numb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew I stopped trading. But for the next couple of days, like it took a couple of days to sink in, I think. Yeah. But
and were you like after a couple of days, like were you still like the next morning you got up and you were trading? Or were you like, let me like, because I play a lot of poker, right? And when you suffer a big loss from poker, you kind of just want to like step away for a little bit, like go for a walk or like go do some other stuff that is not poker related.
Yeah. But with trading, I think most of the time I'll still wake up and turn on the platform and still watch, but I don't trade. Because I want to still stay in tune with the market. Remember, this is 2021. Market was so hot in the first half of the year. It was so hot. I didn't want to, I know I will recover in terms of emotionally in 1 week. But I don't want to lose, we call it screen time during that time. I want to know exactly what else is going on. I want to know what's happening to Moderna stock because I know like eventually, not right away, I'm going to make it back.
So what was the most you made in one day?
120K.
Wow.
From GME.
And then what from GME?
Yeah, GameStop. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what was that story about? Like you saw it on Reddit or something, where you guys in a chat, someone would just like give the signal, or how did you?
No. So I was never really part of that Wall Street bet movement. So what they do is like swing trading. They hold it from $40 and all the way to $500. What I did is I traded that in 1 day.
Gotcha.
So there was one day when GameStop opened at 500, dropped all the way down to $98.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then went all the way back up to 400. So for me, it's going to get a little bit nerdy and technical. But what I did is I watched it hold all the way down and I bought it at 98, 100, 120 and rolled it to 350.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was, and by the way, that was in the span of like 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You just take the rest of the day off or what?
The what, sorry?
Did you take the rest of the day off?
No,
after like...
I keep trading.
Oh my gosh. So
the market's hot. You don't stop when the market's hot.
Earlier, right. Earlier you said something... There's a lot of resemblance between like swing trading or day trading versus like gambling as well. Because at a casino, if you're playing blackjack, you don't stop. Like if the dealer is hot, if the table is hot, if the cards are hot, you just keep going with it. You just keep going with it. So you talked about how swing trading is kind of like, it takes a few days. They hold it for like a few days to a few weeks or months.
Yeah.
So what you do is day trading. Day trading, you only hold it in that one specific day, or is it like multiple days as well?
Only that 1 day. So you open and close a trade, long or short, within 1 day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what got you? Because let me ask before I ask the second question. How many different types of trading are there?
There's a lot.
Swing trading, day trading.
Yeah. There's some people would call what you did earlier, the option trading expiring the same week, call it YOLO trading.
Okay. YOLO trading?
YOLO trading, yeah. There's a lot. So there's also scalping.
What's
there's
scalping?
Scalping between the seconds. People do that.
Wow.
But majority of the time you can categorize swing trading and day trading.
Gotcha.
That's like a big two. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what got you in all this?
Got me into trading. So in my previous I call it my real job, was in film and VFX.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing that in LA and in Vancouver for a little bit. So my career was not really stable. So for people working in the film industry, you're kind of working per production.
Right.
So once a production ends, you may have a month or 2 months of break. Unless you're very, very good at what you do. And at the time, I was a junior. So during that time, I needed to find a way to pay rent. I was living in Santa Monica, in Los Angeles. Rent wasn't cheap. So I needed to find a way to make some side hustle. So make some money to pay rent. So that's what got me into trading. So that, and also I was in LA, I was in my early 20s. I really want to go to EDC, VIP. Yeah. So that
with the helicopter or?
No, I think the VIP just means you have like a private section like on the platform and you have VIP bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
Versus like the
disgusting
porta potties.
Yes, those are disgusting.
Yeah. So that was kind of my initial motivation to get into trading.
is there anything you considered outside of I mean, maybe you've like went on Google, like, how do I make money online, or how do I make passive income? And then like so many things could pop up. Like, did you know that like, hey, I want to do trading, or did you consider some other options as well?
I tried a bunch of different things. Some of them made money, some of them lost money. Like I used to flip furniture in LA. So me and my friend would go to like Goodwill.
Okay.
Yeah, in LA. And then buy some stuff and then flip it. So that's one thing. I did a lot of initially. I tried to do the Etsy thing because I was a designer, so I know how to design stuff. So I did sold some stuff on Etsy that made some money, but it's not that scalable.
Right.
Yeah. So all those things made money, but it's trading that I found that, hey, like even though there's very much a risk of losing money, but if you can actually make it work, you're scaling up with your money and you are only spending like a certain amount of time. So that was the most attractive to me, and that's what stuck.
Okay, so how did you first like learn about day trading?
I checked a bunch of online forums. So I started reading about trading. And at the time, this is super early on. People might know this. 2013 or 14 is when Robinhood in the States, they started like the free commission trading on the phone. They launched like a beta testing program. So I was one of the beta testers for Robinhood. So that's when I actually started with like buying Apple, Amazon. I bought Apple at like $60. And then Nvidia, $40.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was what started me trading. Is I started with swing trading. Like I'll buy it and a couple of weeks later I'll sell it. So I'll make like a couple of bucks there. And then I started getting more serious into taking some courses online. So at the time, there wasn't a lot of YouTube videos about trading. And the ones that were there was really bad. So I bought some courses. That's what got me started into learning to trade.
Interesting. So, and which year was this?
2014. Yeah.
So you traded basically 2014, and I assume during that time you're still working in the film industry as well. And then when did you actually become like a full-time trader?
I didn't quit until 3 years later.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trading part-time for a good 2 years.
Gotcha. And what made you quit? What do you remember that day that you had to make a decision and say, hey, I'm going to hand in my resignation letter and then do this full-time?
Yeah. So I had that thought after 1 year, but I actually prepared for it. So I'm not the kind of person who do any drastic decision making like this, like on the spot. So I'll plan. I like to plan for these things, like these huge milestones in life. I'll plan for it. So I started saving up about a year and a half after I started trading. And then it took me save up to my living expenses, just in case this doesn't work out, right? So I saved up about 1 year of living expenses. It wasn't that much because it's just me, right? I don't have any dependents. I saved up, and then that's when at the time I was in $25K US in my bank account cash that I know, okay, I can live on this for a year. So once I have that, then I just started thinking about, okay, which day should I actually quit? But it wasn't too difficult because I was at a very difficult production at the time and overtimes were crazy. So pretty soon after that, I just decided to quit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And do you remember when, like, that first day of being a full-time trader? What was that like? Like, was it like, oh, I don't have to go to my work today? Well, see, the things for you is that for trading, like you have to get up when the market opens, right? For me, the first day that I became like a full-time entrepreneur, I didn't know what time I had to get out of bed. You know what I mean? I was like,
Did you sleep in then?
No, I didn't want to sleep in because I didn't want to start off my entrepreneur career on I'm just gonna sleep in, because I knew that wasn't gonna make me win. So I was like, 8 o'clock seems too late, but 7 seems too early. So let's go with 7:30.
Okay.
And then I just like got up, grabbed a cup of coffee, and I just sat in front of my computer. Like the first year of me quitting my job, I literally sat in front of a computer probably from like 7:30 until like 7:30 at night. Just grinding, just working, because I felt like there was no more paycheck coming in, right? So I had to go hunt. Physically I had to go hunting, and but yeah, that was an interesting experience. But for you, so you quit your job 2017 then?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you start teaching like other people how to trade? When did you start your YouTube journey as well?
I didn't start that until 2019.
And what got you into that?
So because here's the thing, like if you're doing trading right, it eventually becomes very boring. Because the idea is that, at least the way I trade is I'll trade from the open. So local time here in Vancouver, 6:30 a.m. And then usually I'm done by 10 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
pretty good.
And then if I try to trade outside of those hours, I lose money.
So why is that? What's the rationale behind that?
Yeah, because there are certain strategies that I do that's more suitable for momentum in the first hour. Yeah, and after the first couple hours, things die down slower. Then you should trade a different kind of strategy, which I didn't like at the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's where it's like, okay, like I need to find something else to do after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. If I sit here, I'm gonna lose money. It's stupid. Yeah. So. And by the way, this is like a long time ago. This is before work from home, before anyone's available during the middle of the day. So all my friends at work, it's just me. And I need to like find a side project. It's obviously better if it makes money, right? So I started doing a lot of things at a time. I had like a Shopify store. I had a friend who was doing Amazon thing. I was like, okay, like I can watch what you do. I didn't get into Amazon. But YouTube is one of those things I started on the side. So because I was in film and VFX, it's very easy. Well, came naturally for me to write videos, script videos, edit and film.
You understood how the process and the system worked, right?
Yeah.
You were
from
in the scene already.
storyboarding to production, like I can do everything myself. And these are like 10-minute videos. Yeah. So it's way easier than the 2-hour movies that I used to make. So that's why it became like a creative outlet. And I, in the back of my mind, I knew this could make some money. So, but I was like, might make some coffee money, lunch money here and there.
Yeah.
That was kind of the intention at the start. Yeah. Maybe you could pay for my camera equipment, right? I spent, I think $600 on my first camera. Maybe eventually you'll pay for that. Yeah. So that's the start of my YouTube endeavor in 2019.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting because when you started this YouTube journey, you didn't really have any expectations.
No.
And this is like something I found to be very, like the more people I talk to, the beginning of their side hustles, they don't have any expectations. For me, Amazon, I didn't think I was gonna make millions on Amazon. Like I was like, hey, if I could pay for food, like $1,000, like $1,000 per month, if my food bill is paid, if I can just go out and have some beers with my friends and pay for lunch and stuff, and if that's paid, and then maybe my cell phone or my car or whatever, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you achieve that level, you want a little bit more, obviously. So I think there's something to be said about before you start a side hustle, before you start trading, before you start Amazon FBA, before you start anything, don't go in the mindset of like, I need to make $1 million this year. You know, if I don't, then blah, blah. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's almost like, same as like dating, right? Like you see someone, it's like, oh, I'm going to marry this person. It never works out. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you just go with the flow and whatever happens, right? You deal with it as it goes. So you started your YouTube channel, and then do you still remember your first YouTube video? Like, was it like super bad? No, well, you're in film, so you probably know a little bit more about lighting and stuff.
Lighting is okay, but the thing that's bad is the acting, the pronunciation, the speaking. Right. Because I never really filmed being on camera before that, right? I did the back end stuff. Right. Yeah, but yeah, I think that video was private right now. No one can see it. So bad. It's okay. You can go back and I still have my first video as well. I was like, the camera was probably like on the other side of the room. I was sitting up against the wall. There was no microphone. There was so much echo. But it was just like, it was cool. You know, you just, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, you're so cute, Tom. Think about all the years ago where you started.
I know, right? Yeah. I know. Now I have 3 cameras instead of just one. Jeez. It's
a huge setup.
I got a microphone too. Yeah. I'm like, God, look at this.
That green screen isn't that bad either.
Hey, don't tell people that. Don't tell people that. That's awesome. And so you were doing, you know, at this time you were like getting up at 6:30. You were finishing your work at 10. You probably like make some YouTube videos and stuff. Curious about your YouTube journey now, because you have like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
How much did you buy? Like 900,000?
I bought all 1 million.
So what was that journey like? When did YouTube really start picking up for you?
So 2019, I started being more consistent with making videos in the middle of 2019. Before, it's like, I'll make a video here and there. I was publishing every 2-3 weeks, but I started getting more serious in the middle of 2019 because at the time I was going through some things, and trading was kind of like, I need to make sure I'm done by 10 o'clock. Because before, like, I would still break my rules and go back to trade when I'm bored, and I'll lose some stupid amount of money. So I realized, okay, I need to like really concentrate on something else. So I really shut down my computer and really forced myself to make videos after trading.
So you were so more consistent. What does consistency mean? Like 5 videos a week, 3 videos a week?
No, once a week.
Oh, once a week. Gotcha.
Once a week.
Okay.
But then like I wouldn't miss it. Yeah, every single week I'll post one. I think I used to post on Saturdays. I'll spend Tuesday to Friday writing and like doing Photoshop and do my own thumbnail and script and then post it. So I just became more consistent. And at the time, market was pretty decent too. So there was a lot of stuff for me to talk about. So that's where that also adds to consistency. And then obviously we know what happened at the end of 2019, early 2020. When everyone started staying at home in early 2020, that's when YouTube really picked up. I think before 2020, at the end of 2019, I think I had about 50K subscribers.
Okay.
So that was decent. I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, you know, like it's definitely exceeded my expectation. I thought I was gonna get 10,000 in 1 year. And then when everyone was stuck at home, that's when things really blew up. And that kind of caught me by surprise, but it's a positive reinforcement because more people watch it, more people comment, and that I'm at home anyway, so there's not much else to do. That really motivates me to put out even more videos. Right. Yeah.
Right. And how fast did you grow from 50,000 to what? Like in that 1 year?
Yeah, I had one video go viral. So it's a day in the life of a millennial day trader.
Gotcha.
So I published that was made in February 2020. I published it in April. And I think that one went viral and hit 1 million views, 2 million views in that first year.
Oh, wow.
So from 50K to 250K, that happened in like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what they say? It's like there's the business saying, first it happens slowly, then it happens suddenly. Like first it happens slowly, then it happens quickly. Yeah. And I think like without your consistency of posting on YouTube, without all those things, like that viral video might have never hit or whatever it might be. So I think the lesson learned there is, I think Oreo really, oh my goodness.
It's okay, you can stay here.
Oreo, like he's never done this before.
Oh, I guess he likes me.
Yeah. Are you a cat person?
I am.
Okay, well, there you go. I think that's such an important lesson to be learned there. So when did you start actually monetizing YouTube? Because you have a course as well. You have a community. Yeah. And I know obviously YouTube pays you like AdSense and stuff like that. But when did you actually decide to teach other people how to create a community and stuff like that on YouTube?
Yeah. So the community aspect kind of came because there was a lot of people asking about it. So I used to do a lot of free stuff. Like we're talking about free newsletters that I still do. And then I used to have a free Discord. So I'll have a Discord chat room where I allowed about like 50 people to join for free. Right. So every day I'll put out my stock trading plans, the stocks I'm watching, and kind of talk about my analysis. Oh my God, he's enjoying it so much.
He's like, hey, I want to say something. I wanna day trade too. I gotta start paying for my food and rent here. Okay, so
so I do that for free, but eventually it's like a lot of more people want to join. And obviously, once over a certain threshold, like my energy is capped. If I want to have a bigger group and let more people in for free, I need to hire people to help. Right. So that's when I started charging. So it started out as a free thing for the first 50 people. And the next tier of people, everyone, I think I charged like $30 per month for everyone. I was like, okay, like, first 100 people to join, $30.
Right.
So, and then it just kind of slowly expanded. The more people who want to join, the more features we have to put out.
Right.
And the more people I have to hire. Yeah. So that's what it started in 2020.
And it was only Discord. Like it was just a $30 per month. You get access to Discord.
Yeah, it started as just a Discord.
Did you have a course at that point or no?
At the start, no.
Gotcha. So it's more of a community.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and eventually the people in my Discord, they said, "Oh, it's great that you're here, but I feel like we should also have it would be great if we can have a breakdown in video format of how you trade, what the other traders trade. Can you teach us?" So all the videos I made after that, the people who are already in the Discord, they get for free. And then it's the new people. I have to raise prices for new people who want to join because now you have the community, you have the Discord and the lessons. So that's how eventually I added pricing and more people join. Yeah.
So how do you split your time now? Because essentially you have like 2.5 businesses, maybe 3. So you got YouTube, you got your community, and then you got your day trading. How are you splitting up your time right now for those 3 things?
Yeah. So a lot of my actual trading and the community can come hand in hand. So I can kind of do both of these at the same time. So for me, every morning, I do I scan for stocks to trade. I do a stock trading plan. So I'll do that every morning with my team for my community at local time here is 5:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Damn. So I'll wake up at 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So we'll do that. We'll talk about our plans. And then we have about 1 hour till open to kind of do our own thing, prep my own trading. And at the open, that's when we start trading. So from 6:30 a.m. here, market open to 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's when, yes, I'm trading. But I'm also answering questions in case people have questions about, hey, I'm watching stock ABC. What do you think? But all the planning is already done before market open. Yeah. And I'm personally done with my trading after 9 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you ever sell signals? Do you ever, why do you just feel like it's too much burden? Like if you, people can shit on you and stuff like that?
Yeah. Because this is going back to when I first started. If I sell signals, that I know it's not going to work because that's the reason I lost so much money in my first year. So I'm not going to do something that I know people are probably 100% going to lose money.
Right.
So what I tell them is you need to learn it. I have all the lessons here. If you don't learn and if you just buy whatever's out there, it's on you.
Right.
Because I'm not telling you to buy it. Right. I don't give you signals. I give you the education, how I trade, everything lined up here. You should learn it and ask questions and we can help you. So that's a different mindset. If you're selling signals, almost similar as, because those signals, they send it to your text message on your phone. Right. They tell you to buy at this price and you do the same. There's a lot of, it gets a little bit complicated because there's a lot of pump and dumps that do that. And I just don't want to be associated with that.
Have you ever been involved in a pump and dump? From without knowing? Not obviously advertising a pump and dump, but
No. I've been on the buying side.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You bought a pump and dump before?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. In my first 2 years.
Gotcha.
It can be a strategy. There are some people who actually trade these pump and dumps, knowing how to take advantage of it. I tried it a couple of times. Some worked, some didn't, but it's not really my thing. Yeah.
Fair enough. So what does the course business look like now? Because you have, from our last conversation, most of these students are all organic, right? Did you start running paid ads, or is it still just funneling through YouTube?
We only started doing paid ads in 2022. Yeah, so now we have organic side, and then that's probably still 80% of the traffic, and 20% on paid ads.
Gotcha. And what does that funnel look like? Someone, basically there's a link on the bottom and then someone click on that. So is there a webinar they watch? Is it a closer that they have to hop on a call with? What does that look like?
Yeah, so that's changed. It started with a webinar, but it worked for a couple of months, and then we switched out to they have to talk to someone. So they sign up to our email sequence. They get a free course. So the free course is still I still spend a good weekend filming that free course. So it's still 5-hour content. And from the free course, they get they get a lot of emails saying, hey, if you enjoy learning this one strategy, so the free course talks about one strategy that I teach. But if you want to learn more, we have like 6 other strategies.
Cool.
If you want to learn more, here's how you do that. You can book a call, or there's even a link if you want to just purchase. Yeah.
So in the day trading, first of all, let me ask you this. Do you think day trading is considered passive income? No, it's not passive.
No, not at all.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately,
because you have to get up at 6:30. You have to be in front of the computer. Is there a way to automate this at all, or no?
I am testing out a lot of like auto trading algos setup that you can do with different softwares.
Yeah.
I've tried a bunch over the years. Nothing really worked. But with the like the rise of AI, I think pretty soon we can have that pretty less active.
But then if everybody has that, because trading is a very like non-zero sum game, right? It's like there can only like every single time you make money, someone has to lose money.
Yeah.
So
especially if you're trading smaller cap stocks, yes. Large caps, not necessarily. Yeah. But I think you can, because you're using AI, yes, you're using a platform that helps you to trade automatically, but it's still your strategy. So it's the inputs, the human input. You tell it what to do, you give it parameters that differentiates you from someone else who's using a bot to trade.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so with your course, what are some other things that's been working well? Because you have a subscription service for the course as well, right?
Yeah.
Like our course is not really good when it comes to subscriptions because we have like 3 products and they're all kind of like a one-time payment. However, I am like launching a subscription service very soon because what I learned is that my students, I'm not sure about yours. By the way, who are your students? Have you noticed like a certain avatar of people?
Yeah, usually 90% male.
Okay.
Men from the ages 28 to 38. Yeah.
What do they currently do and why do they want to get into day trading?
A lot of times there are engineers who work from home. So it kind of changed after 2021. Now it's a lot of people who already work from home and they want to make some side income. So before COVID, it would be, I think now things seem a lot better after pandemic. But before COVID, it will be people who was like me, who, didn't have stable job, stable income, and just want to find a change in career. Now I find more and more people want to just have a part-time hustle. Yeah.
Interesting. I forgot what I was going to ask you. And I knew I was going to forget the second I changed the topic because I never remember. But something I think you've done really, really well is that the day trading world, same as bizop, like business opportunity world, there's a lot of like, it's kind of slimy and scammy. You know what I mean? It's like, do you want to make money? And the second that the word money is mentioned, people are just like, here's my Lamborghini. And I'm sure day trading is probably like crypto was definitely like up there. Day trading is also up there. But I feel like for you, you've kind of carved out this like really cool niche for yourself. Like your personal brand is very professional, it's non-scammy. It's like you're partnering up with like TD Waterhouse and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So how were you able to do that? Like, was it just I guess, being authentic to yourself and then they reach out to you? Or can you talk to me a little bit about how you can stand out among the sea of, I don't want to call them scammers, but like there are a lot of people out there that they don't even day trade. They have a Lamborghini and they're like, oh, I'll sell you signals and stuff.
Right. I think the biggest thing is that I don't really make a lot of business decisions based on like short-term gains. So a lot of times, let's say like you have no idea, during 2021, there's so many like people who want to do sponsorships with me. They'll reach out like,
like companies, right?
Yeah, companies, yes. Companies like with like crypto and all that stuff. You just have to be really selective with who you work with. Yeah, so maybe out of the 100 email, there's only 2 people that we reply and we end up working with 1.
Gotcha.
So I always work with people that I know that I personally, like the products I'll personally use myself, like the TD Bank and the broker platforms. I make sure everything's in the States FDIC insured, SPIC insured as well. So I always want to make sure, that I'm using products I personally will want to use. And, I never engage in any crypto pump and dumps. I never promoted any one single stock or one single coin or even ETFs. Like I kind of steer away from that. So if I want to make the quick money, because by the way, they pay a lot.
How much do they pay?
So everyone knows FTX by now, right? FTX, I knew it wasn't something I want to promote because I personally don't trade crypto. And I invest in crypto, but something about FTX, it just wasn't right.
Maybe you just like didn't know enough too, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't really know this.
Yeah, exactly. I would never work with someone or a brand that I didn't know. So FTX, they offered 60 grand per month. 60
What?
grand. Yeah. And
for what? What do you have to do for them?
For like one video shout out per week. So 4 videos, 60 grand.
No.
And like a little shout out. Like a
No
30 second.
way.
They give you the script, they give you the graphics.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 60
G's a month.
And it's a 6-month contract. Like if I want to make money, I just do that.
Wow.
And like at the time,
and you said no.
Yeah, I said no. I was like,
holy shit.
I can't do this. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Forward me the email. Let me get them to sponsor this podcast.
Well, they no longer can do that. But
you know, a funny story about FTX. I was at Tony Robbins, and it was my wife's birthday.
Okay.
And because Tony Robbins, the seminars go from like 8 a.m. till like 12 a.m.
Okay.
Like it's like 14-hour days.
Okay.
And she heard something at that time on Twitter. People were like pulling money out of FTX. She heard something, but then we were busy at Tony Robbins, and she didn't end up pulling the money out. And then on her birthday was the day that FTX like went down, and then we had like 60,000-70,000 in there. And I was like, oh yeah, happy birthday, babe. It's like, oh, happy birthday! You just lost $70,000.
What? Yeah. So did you have it there just to stake it, or what were you doing?
I think it was staking.
9%, with 9.9%.
Yeah, something like that. That's insane.
Yeah,
$60,000.
Yeah, that's
Holy
insane.
Shit.
Yeah,
wow.
I know, and it's like a 6-month contract.
My goodness.
Yeah,
360,000. Easiest 360,000 you ever make.
Easy because. It's like literally like one little shout out, 30-second shout out. They give you everything else.
So all these YouTubers must have been making so much money. These financial like Meet Kevin, like Jeremy and whatever. Yeah. You know, that's Jeremy guy. Yeah, that was interesting. Like my friends have invested in some stocks with him.
Oh yeah.
Like they all went to pretty much. Like, have you heard of what's that one company that he was basically just pumping all the time? It was a plant-based company.
Oh, something
tattoo.
Oh,
yeah, tattoo chef.
Okay, I heard about it.
The other day I checked. I think it was $18, and then it went up to something, and then now it's like 25 cents or something.
No way. 25 cents?
At least they're still in business. I mean, some businesses are just completely gone.
God.
Yeah, it's insane. Hey,
no.
I think over the past couple of years, it bred a new type of entrepreneur, and that type of entrepreneur is basically like, I can throw money in anything, and I can make money. Yeah. Same with e-com. Like COVID was the best thing that happened to online businesses, including like stock trading, whatever. But now what I found, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, is what I found is, take my course business, for example, right? Our sales are down. People are, I think, smarter now. Money is tighter. There's no more stimulus checks. Interest rate is hella high, right? So people are essentially not spending as much money as before, right? And now I really think it's like, okay, who is the real entrepreneur and who is like the fake entrepreneur? Yeah. You know, Warren Buffett had saying, right? We'll see who's swimming naked when the tide goes out. And I think right now the tide is pulling back. Have you kind of noticed that for your businesses at all? Have you, like, your sales have gone down for like both the like trading aspect of things as well as the course business side of things? Like,
yeah. I would say this year, 2023, is a lot better than last year. Last year was tough in terms of like trade, even my own trading. I was like, wow, like I'm like trying to squeeze water out of rock here. But I think it's a good thing in general. I think if we're talking about, we can talk about stock market first. There's a lot less people who want to get into the market for quick money now, because all the people who want to do that, they already lost money.
Right, they're out of money.
They're already done. They're back to work. Yeah. So it kind of already, like, the people who remain are usually the people who are gonna make it in trading, and they work way harder. They work way harder. They wake up early. They're not the people who are looking for alerts. So all the people who wanted alerts kind of, unfortunately, went down in 2022. But now it's like, trading wise, I trade a lot less this year and last year, but I'm able to still make similar gains because I know what to expect. Yeah, because in the past, where right after 2021, I still aim for those big wins. So now I'm a lot more conservative with my target, but I can still trade the same way and trade less. So that's in terms of my own trading. I just have to be more selective, a lot sitting on hands. And there's like when I mentioned earlier, my big wins and big losses in 2021, if I make those this year, I wouldn't go back right away. Like I will sit on sidelines and still watch, but not make a trade because there's less opportunities. But it just means as long as you're patient, you can survive. And in terms of the sales, I find that yes, while overall sales volume is down, the people who buy, they are very serious about making this work. So you kind of have a higher quality of client to work with, less refunds, less disputes, and people who actually join, they are taking like their time to learn this.
Gotcha.
And because we are based on subscription, so we do find that we still have a really good retention rate year after year renewal. So that's how I know these people are way more serious than the ones that showed up a couple years ago.
What do you think contributes to that great renewal? What is the renewal percentage? And what are some things that you can control that you have done to try to increase that renewal rate?
Yeah, so it's different month over month, but it ranges on 60 to 80%.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
It's really good.
So I think what contributes is that their experience in the community. Like once they bought, what's their experience like in your wherever you host, like Slack or on Discord. I think we have really, really good customer service. Like if they have a question, it gets answered within 2 hours.
How does
emails.
How does that work? Like how many customer service reps do you have?
We have 2 full-time.
Oh, wow.
And then we have the hired coaches who are also trading coaches.
Gotcha.
So they're also there. So there's always at least 2 or 3 people there. Even when someone asks questions in Asia time zone, we have another coach in our time zone as well. So I think that's number 1. And also we offer a lot of services, a lot of features that's outside of market hours. Like we do in-person events, meetups. If they cannot travel, we do one-on-one coaching calls.
Is that for a fee or is that?
No, everything's included.
Okay.
So once they join, they don't have to pay anything else.
Gotcha.
So we give them a bunch of things and we teach them how to utilize the features. Because a lot of times if you give someone, like a menu with 10 items, they don't know what to pick.
Yeah.
But you go and teach them, hey, at this point, you should pick that. At 2 months later, you should pick this. So we give them a very clear journey and how to follow to maximize the benefits from the community. And then even after 1 year, even if they don't feel like they made their money back, they will still want to stay because they know the people here are here to support them, to help them. Because trading, you really need 1.5 years at least. Like 6 months is too short to make anything out of trading.
Right.
So they understand that here they are going to get all the support they need.
What's the minimum investment you would say in order for someone to start trading?
In their trading account?
Yeah.
I tell people like 4,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the thing
3 minimum, I think.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And super interesting. So what are you doing? Let's shift the topic a little bit, right? So you've made a lot of money. Is that fair to say?
A decent amount of money.
A decent amount of money.
Yeah.
How has your life changed with this? Obviously, you're traveling the world. You're experiencing things. Was there something that you thought money was going to solve for you, but it didn't really solve for you? You're a little bit like disappointed. You're like, oh, I thought this would be better once I had money.
Yeah.
But I'm still
that's a good question. Because I think when I didn't have that much money, I did have aspirations of buying a fancy car, buying a fancy home, fly on first class all the time. And that did motivate me. I wanted a Lamborghini, all that stuff in the first 2 years. But I think once I made some money, first from trading, and then from my YouTube and online education, I don't think I ever went to buy those things.
Yeah, how come?
That's a very, very good question. I think I know if I went to buy those things, I'm gonna be disappointed. And start thinking the way you just mentioned that, I thought money was going to solve this problem, make me happy, but it didn't. I think I already know the answer from watching a lot of people online, entrepreneurs, yourself included. I know you talk a lot about you thinking that it's going to validate you, right? So I think I already know the answer. So I never really went down that path.
Interesting.
Maybe I should.
You learn the mistake from other people rather than yourself.
Yeah, even now, I don't have a car. The car I drove here today is someone else's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not my car. I think the most expensive thing I bought after I made some money is, I guess, my home. But even then, it's a nice little humble condo.
Right.
Yeah.
The humble condo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do with your money then?
I invest.
Okay.
Yeah. I trade with my money.
Right.
Yeah. And I do enjoy helping my family members. Yeah.
So what do you do for that? Like you send money to them or?
Yeah. So I helped my parents retire.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I always wanted to, they were in Taiwan. So I basically tell them to move here. Like, I have a place for you, live there. Every month, like, things are taken care of.
Oh, wow.
So it's not, they don't live like, fancy lifestyle.
Yeah.
But still, I feel very happy to be able to provide for them.
That's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you, like, what does that look like? Like, do you set a certain amount of budget for them? Like, do they have their own bank account? Like, I'm just curious to know. Do you like give them like cash, everything?
No.
Like, hey, here's like, what does that look like?
So they're on my payroll, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I have my previous home before I bought the new place, they now live there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's like enrichment, a very nice area. They can walk anywhere to grocery shop, parks, they hang out with their friends. Like, they love it. They're retired now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what did your parents do?
Yeah, my dad was a civil engineer in Taiwan. My mom was a high school teacher.
Wow, very similar to my parents.
Oh, yeah?
My dad was a mechanical engineer, and my mom was a professor at a university.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when did you come to Canada?
Early 2000s, like 2003, 2004.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
immigrate.
I came here when I was 2001.
Oh.
Yeah. So your parents came here with you, and then they went back to Taiwan?
Yeah. So once we got the citizenship, they have to go back to work. Yeah, because they cannot get a job here.
Right.
Yeah. No one's gonna recognize my dad's civil engineering background. And my mom's a teacher, doesn't work here.
Yeah.
So they went back.
So you were here by yourself?
Yeah, I was here by myself for a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And what do your parents think of your accomplishments, or like when you first quit your job and you started day trading? Were they like, you're like, what kind of Chinese parents are they, or Taiwanese parents are they? Because there's like different avatars of them. You know, a lot of them like don't support like school, like get a good job.
Yeah, my parents are pretty understanding, and obviously they always try to push me towards becoming engineer, doctor, lawyer.
Right.
But then they at the end they will respect my decision. So I mean, I went to film school, right? That's not exactly gonna be a lucrative career. But I know they worry a lot. So when I quit my job to day trade, I didn't tell them. Yeah, so I didn't tell them until like actually, okay, I think I've made enough. Like, I made the money I was gonna make from my salary and more. Then that's when I told them. Right. Yeah, and then after that, they were just like, as long as you can take care of yourself and never have to ask them for money, they're happy for me. Yeah.
And what earlier you said, like, because a lot of your businesses are like very cash flow heavy, right? Like, it just produces a lot of cash flow, like your course business, YouTube, your day trading. So earlier you said like, I invest my money. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So real estate was probably the first kind of asset I started purchasing. But nowadays I'm changing. Also, by the way, I lost some amount of money in crypto as well. So that was my other investment that didn't work out. But nowadays I'm investing in startups or other businesses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like through your personal connections with other people, or through like a fund that invests in startups? What does that look like?
Oh, it'll be personal connections. Gotcha. A lot of times I think that's a good thing about having a personal brand and personality online, is that people reach out to you. Yeah. And obviously you don't invest in everything people tell you about, but this once in a while, there's maybe one every 20 email, there's something that's interesting, then I'll take a look or I'll engage in a conversation, talk about it. And yeah, so I've so far invested in 2, about to be a third that I'm actually quite excited about. Usually these are things I would personally use.
Right. And what kind of business are these? Are these like trading related businesses or?
So one is my friend's online business.
Okay.
And the other two are kind of trading softwares. Yeah. One is, I hope it's going to become a brokerage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So imagine, it's an app called Blossom Investing. So, like Wealth Simple, that's a zero commission trading app in Canada. So Blossom, they're going to be a social investing platform and going to be a broker. So you see everyone's portfolio. Okay. Basically, and you can share. It's like a stock twits, but combined with brokerage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but in Canada, because we don't have anything like that in here.
Why is everything the financial sector, this financial services sucks ass in Canada? Yeah, like we don't have Venmo, we don't have any of these.
I know,
just regulations, right?
I think and
it's like e-transfer sucks.
It sucks. Yeah,
e-transfer is awful.
I agree, and like the commissions for a lot of these big banks are so high, like $9, $10 per trade.
Yeah.
In the States, everything's 0% now. I don't know why Canada is so backwards when it comes to these things. Yeah, regulations and stuff like that, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, like, right now, what's giving you energy and what's taking away, like, energy? Like, what are some things, like, I actually want to ask you the taking away energy first. Because I feel like every level, there's a new devil. And sometimes being an entrepreneur, we're chasing, like, we need more. And then when you have more, you have other problems that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then sometimes, some people say like, oh, working a 9 to 5 is like the golden handcuff. But I would argue that like some entrepreneurs are actually just in a bigger golden handcuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? So what are some of these like golden handcuffs that you feel like you're in? Or maybe you're not, I don't want to project. But I do know that a lot of entrepreneurs like, oh man, like sometimes they do wish life was a little bit simpler or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I think this year I have a lot of those conversations with myself about how hard I want to push. How hard do I want to push the YouTube channel or my community or my course, or do I want to do something else? I think with online content, it's very easy to be inspired, and that's great. But it's very easy to see other people's numbers, like how much revenue they're doing, how much revenue is his business generating. So I did compare myself a lot with other people at the start. And like really like late last year, like it wasn't that long ago. And I think this year I kind of realized that I need to be doing what I think whenever I try to mimic somebody else's business model, or like his funnel or his email sequences or the script, whatever, then that's what I don't enjoy. When I try to do something to someone else is doing in order to kind of compare with myself, my own revenue with other people. Well, same thing in trading too, because people post their profits and losses online on Twitter and you can follow them, and that's great. But sometimes I'm like, how did that guy make $5,000 when I only make $1,000 or $2,000? So a lot of times, like I'm still, it's a work in progress. Yeah, I would say.
But now you're aware enough to catch yourself.
Yeah, I'm very aware of it, and I realize I want to keep on doing things I enjoy doing, and if it makes money, great. If not, then it's fine. Like I already made enough. Like technically, I don't need more. Yeah. So obviously, I want to have a growth mindset. Yeah. I want to do other things. Now the software business really interests me. So that's where I want to spend all my focus, energy, and mental headspace in. Even though that's in that space, I probably won't make money until like 3 years down the road.
Sorry, you're launching your own software, or are you talking about the company that you invested in?
I want to launch my own software.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of software are you thinking?
Yeah, it's gonna be for trading.
Okay.
It's essentially a scanner. Yeah, trading scanner, but it's gonna be smarter, more optimized. Yeah.
Interesting. And then what's giving you energy right now? What's like something that you just absolutely love to do?
Yeah. So I would say during the years like 2019 to 2021, I really neglected a lot of my friends. So now the last 2 years, I've been kind of trying to reconnect with old friends, make new friendships, and trying to go out and meet more people. Yeah, so that's what gives me a lot of energy. It's when I actually go outside of my computer.
Would you say you're introverted or extroverted?
Introvert.
You're introvert.
Very much introvert.
But you're on the more extrovert side of an introvert, right?
I think it's like this. I know I'm gonna be on a podcast today with you. I know I have to be very energetic.
Yeah.
Then like a couple of days leading up to this, I'll probably like stay at home by myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I have to preserve my energy to be able to talk like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I feel like I'm still more introverted.
Interesting. Yeah. No, fair enough. So what are like top 3 priorities in your life at the moment? Because earlier you had mentioned like I already made enough money.
Yeah.
So I would imagine the money priority over the past few years have kind of like maybe went down a little bit. So what are you replacing that with? Is it you talk about relationships? I love that.
Yeah.
What are some other things that is like a priority for you at the moment?
Yeah. So relationships definitely number 1. Well, that's with family, friendship, romantic relationships, and then second is my health. Yeah, I kind of didn't take care of myself that well the last couple of years, mentally and also physically. And then I guess after that, third will be money. That would be the last one.
Yeah. No, that's a good list. I think that's very, like for me, I think you got your health, you got your wealth, you got your relationships, which is basically 3 things you said. And the last, like spirituality. I do think that we are like spiritual beings, and I do think it's important to kind of take care of that for your mental health and your physical health. Can you talk a little bit about how you're actually taking care of that? Like, are you seeing a therapist? Are you like, what are some things that you're doing to actually help you to improve those 2 aspects?
Yeah, physical health wise, I started walking a lot more. So I live in downtown. So what I used to do is I Uber everywhere. Literally, even like a 15-minute walk, I'm like, I don't have time for this, I'll Uber.
Yeah.
So now I start walking a lot more, and I've seen a drastic change. And then for also like my arm, unfortunately, working with all the mouse and stuff, like I have like carpal tunnel and tendonitis. So doing physio for that. And then mental health wise, I think just going out more. Yeah, because the last couple of years, COVID, pandemic, and working, I'm always at home. Sometimes I wouldn't see people for like weeks.
Wow.
So it's not good.
You are an introvert.
Yeah, I just started going out more and talking to more people. Yeah.
What area do you think you need to put a little bit more work in at the moment?
I think I'm still working on my relationships. Definitely, especially the ones with my parents. It wasn't always that good until I want to say 2022. Yeah.
Can I
even
ask,
after
Can I ask like why, like what happened there? I know there's a lot of, especially with Asian parents, right? Like they don't say like, my parents say I love you and stuff now.
Oh, they do?
Well, yeah. Like, but it's like I love you. Like, you know,
like they want to look at I love you.
Yeah, it's like I love you.
Oh.
You know? Yeah, I personally felt like I was never really good enough for my parents. Maybe the high level of expectation that had set for me. My cousin's an engineer, my dad's an engineer. I think deep inside they wanted me to be an engineer, that type of thing. Okay. And then I was like just doing so bad in school. Like I was quite the child, I would say, when it comes to school. Well, not the child. The child in China, I was very, very good kid. I was like top the class, teacher's pet, class captain, and like all that type of stuff. I was like the perfect child, pretty much. But then when I came to Canada, I saw the other side of what life could be like. Because here, kids like they didn't really like study. They like played a lot of sports. There was a lot of socializing and stuff. So that's that. But so yeah, I felt like my grades were never really good enough. And then hence my parents put a lot of emphasis on my grades. And therefore I was never really good enough for my parents. Yeah. And then I just had this like really big chip on my shoulder. And then that was actually what motivated me to kind of start entrepreneurship. Not start entrepreneurship, but making sure I don't give up. Making sure that I can roll up my sleeves on like, sell couches or just do like the hard work. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I need to prove them that they're wrong. I need to prove to my friends who didn't believe me they're wrong. So it's a lot of like negative fuel, I would say, to help me to get to where I am today. What was like your relationship with your parents like?
Yeah. So I have 2 other siblings, but I'm the oldest. So when you're the oldest, like I felt like they had really unrealistic expectations of me. Like I need to be the example that my younger siblings follow. So that's number one. And I mean, we talked about it. I think we're on better terms now. The other thing is, I mentioned that after we immigrated and we got citizenship, they went back. So I was here alone. I felt really abandoned.
Right. With your siblings or?
For some time, I was with one sibling. Yeah, but there was some period of time that I was here by myself. So I felt like I was younger back then. Like I was like, 16? Didn't really understand a lot of these emotions. Like I definitely felt abandoned.
Yeah.
So I think from that, I because of that, I resented my parents. Yeah. So that's on my side. I needed to work on that. Took a couple of years. Yeah. So I didn't really spend much time with my parents from ages 16 all the way through college. I was in LA and then until I came back to Vancouver. That's when they started visiting me regularly. So that was a huge gap in between that we didn't really see each other that much. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I think 16 is like an interesting age, right? But if you were like definitely younger, you know, like that could be a lot more traumatic.
Yeah.
Not saying that it wasn't for you, because I'm sure like, actually, you know, it's funny. Like my parents were kind of always gone as well, but my parents were so strict that when they were gone, I was the happiest kid. I'm like, I could do anything. I was like, I could get up when I want. I could eat whatever I want. I could like just like play as much as I want. I was like so happy whenever they were gone. But I do understand what you mean by, you know, at the end of the day, you know, all we want is like love, right?
Yeah.
From like other people and from my parents. Mostly from my parents, really. Like if you just look at this thing from a biological perspective, like we need love from my parents, you know? And actually a child without love from their mothers, like they could potentially die. Like that's how crazy it is, right? So cool. Well, Shay, I appreciate you for, you know, taking the time, coming on your first ever live pod. I hope it was a good experience for you. Hopefully it won't be your last. And where can people follow you? And hopefully we can get your Instagram account back.
Yeah, I know. So you can follow me on YouTube, Humbled Trader. Same thing on Instagram, Twitter. Sorry, Twitter will be Humble Trader 18.
Yeah.
And my website, humbletrader.com.
Cool. Awesome. And yeah, for anybody that is interested in learning about day trading, for any trading advice, mindset, business advice, definitely check out Shay. I've known you for probably a year now-ish. And I love what you do. I love your work.
Thank you.
And the fact that you turned down 60 G's to work with FTX. I mean, guys, that tells you enough right there. So any like word of advice, any last things that you want to say to the folks that are listening to the end?
Don't chase the money. That's about it. You know, chase what makes you happy. And if that makes money, that's gonna what makes you succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's the millionaire who has a lot of money.
No.
Just kidding. Okay, awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tom Wang Show. If you are still listening to this, big favor to ask, okay? You know what it is.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Comment something down below.
And
Subscribe. Yeah, all those things. So I can feel better about myself, I guess.
We need some validation.
Give me the validation. God damn it.
We need those likes.
Give me those metrics. Give me those vanity metrics. Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next episode.